This will cause fasting not to work in your body, and there is nothing more frustrating than putting effort into your health and getting no results. So let me help you clear this up. Hey Wellness Warrior, I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski, and I want you to get amazing results from fasting, so let's make sure you're doing it right. The first thing we need to focus on is your diet, and there's some subcategories of that we really need to pay attention to. The first here is processed foods. If you're eating artificial foods, artificial flavorings, artificial colors, and all these synthetic ingredients that are in our foods today, then it is going to impact your fast because these are toxic, and in fact, they're not food at all. They can cause problems like cravings and lead you to failure. So what you want to do is make sure that you're focusing on a whole food diet. The next thing you want to pay attention to is sugar, and sugar matters in a big way. Here's the thing, the more sugar you consume, the higher your blood sugar will go up, and what goes up must come down. And if you have blood sugar crashes during a fast, it's going to cause irritability, it can cause lightheadedness, it can even cause shakiness and cause you to crash in a big way. So if you're consuming a lot of sugar, you want to stop. And I'll get to more as to why that's very important in just a second. But first, we need to also talk about your macros, because what's very important is that when you're fasting, you're hitting the proper macros. Macros is referring to the amount of protein, fats, and carbohydrates that you're eating in your diet. And this is important to remember. Fasting is healthy. Starving yourself is not fasting and is not healthy. So when fasting, it's very important to make sure that you're getting lots of protein in your diet so you don't fall into some sort of weird starvation mode. So up your protein and really make sure that your macros are on point. Now, one of the things that you might be thinking, isn't it a little extreme to say fasting doesn't work if you don't have this dialed in? It's not at all, because especially when you're doing 16 and 8 intermittent fasting, one of the huge benefits that comes from it is lowering your blood sugar and starting to burn fat for energy. So your body is either burning sugar for energy or fat for energy. When your body is burning fat for energy and ketones are present, it's very healing. There's a lot of benefits that come from that. But if you have a very low quality diet, there's a good chance that you're never getting to that point and you're never getting the benefits from fasting. If you're someone with insulin resistance or you're a type 2 diabetic, it can take you even days to get to the point where your insulin is dropping to a low enough level to where you're tapping into ketones and you're actually getting all the benefits from fasting. So the healthier your diet is, the better your fast will be. And of course, you know what? It's important to make sure that we're finding success with the efforts that we're putting in to our health. Next thing is we want to focus on proper hydration, because this will also mess up your fast. There's two components you need to focus on, both water and electrolytes. You know, it's so common that people say to me, Dr. Zyrowski, you know what? I drink plenty of water. I'm not dehydrated. And this is after I point out the fact that they're having many symptoms of dehydration. And when I let them know that proper hydration isn't just about drinking plenty of water, it's also about electrolytes, they go, oh, I didn't know that. So it's very important to have proper electrolytes in your system. And this includes things like potassium, calcium, magnesium, and more. So therefore, if we are going to feel good and avoid brain fog and irritability and muscle cramps, and also avoid some of the struggles that can come along with fasting, like blood sugar crashes, having proper electrolytes in your system is very important. What I'll do is I'll put a link in the description below to the electrolytes that I use. I use electrolytes every single day because they help me feel better. They help me keep my energy up, and they'll do the same for you. Now, let's talk about fasting in general, because this is really important. Well, here's the thing. You know what will be the fastest killer of your fasting results? Not fasting at all. And one of the things that happens to so many people is they start fasting too much, and as a result of that, they crash and stop fasting altogether, saying fasting is not for me. So, you know what? It's important to not go from 0 to 100 when it comes to fasting. Just like when you go to the gym, if you haven't been to the gym in 2 years, you don't go and perform an Olympic level exercise routine. You start slow and work your way up. Well, with fasting, it's the same thing. You're expanding your metabolism. You're expanding your metabolic flexibility. So it's important to start slow. You might start with a 12-hour fast and then go to a 16-hour fast and a 24 and a 2-day and a 3-day, right? And expand your metabolic flexibility so that you can fast longer durations. And this works every time. Just understand that if you've never fasted at all, it's very difficult to jump into a longer duration fast coming from nothing. Now, the next thing that's very important is know thyself. What does that mean? Well, when you start fasting, it can be a little bit uncomfortable at first. Just like going to the gym, it's uncomfortable, but you're getting healthier for it. Your cardiovascular system's getting healthier, you're getting stronger, your joints are getting stronger, all from exercising, but it's mildly uncomfortable. When you start fasting, you'll have some cravings, you might have a little bit of irritability associated with it, but it's not a reason to stop. So a little bit of minor discomfort as you expand your metabolic flexibility and lower your insulin levels and become healthier, it's important to know that that little bit of discomfort is okay. And what you have to do is you have to know when to quit fasting. Sometimes your blood sugar crashes, you get a migraine headache, you're just not feeling well. That's okay. Reset, recalibrate, and re-engage, and then start fasting again. So know thyself, know when it's time to take a step back, know when it's time to push forward, and that is how you're going to get the best results when fasting. I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you liked this video, be sure to check out this one next.